Hey, good morning, everybody. Al Getler here. Welcome back from the holiday weekend. I hope you had a really good one. Mine was fantastic. We were able to kind of do a pod and get some family together, and that was good. So hopefully you have too. I want to point out that if you're joining me today and you'd like to comment, go ahead and comment on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook. You may need to give StreamYard some permission. That's the platform I use. So if you want to be a part of the show today, by all means, do that. I got to tell you, I started my morning off this morning like so many of us do, kind of laying in bed and going over stuff. And one of my contacts on LinkedIn had this on his post. I just want to throw this up here for a second. I think it's pretty awesome. But it's a great way to start the week, kind of how your growth mindset is. Right side of the chart, we'll start with the negatives first. Where's your mindset? Are you avoiding challenges, ignoring criticism? I was, with some of my kids this week, so I had to listen to a few things, and it's important. Intelligence and talents is fixed, less effort, easily gives up. I am a failure. Things we tell ourselves, threatened by the success of others. I will always fail. You can go on and on from this side. You see, it will never improve. Why should I bother? Here's where we are this week. Where's the growth mindset? Embraces challenges, learns from feedback and criticisms. Intelligence and talent can be developed. So true. More effort. You can always give things more effort. Keeps trying, never gives up. Persists in the face of setbacks. Inspired by others. Will learn from failure. Oh, man, I could go on and on about that one. We get into my story a bit more. We'll talk about it. This will take time and hard work. Anything and everything does. And this was a huge one on me. I want to keep learning, just gigantic. So take some time and look at that for you. Find out where you are in your growth journey. But I just love this. Devin, if you're out there, thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. Well, today's guest, I'm going to tell you, you talk about a guy that just did not say anything but yes to moving forward, yes to growth. I met this gentleman because I got a Facebook ad. And so any of you that don't think Facebook ads work, once in a while they do. I mean, some don't, but really good ones do. I bought this journal called the Ambitious Video Planner. As you guys know, I'm on here every weekday, experimenting with video, having fun with video. Had a great week last week, topped off by Jeff Dunham joining us, talking about his new Comedy Central special. But this planner right here is the thing that's going to help me kind of propel and do some pre-recorded stuff. It's really, really well done. It's really easy to follow. I'm not going to go on about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the guy that created that planner with you. His name is Greg Rollett. Hey, Greg.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. I got to follow Jeff Dunham. That's not.
You have to follow Jeff Dunham, dude. We're going to find out the numbers today on his Comedy Central special. Maybe we'll do a quick hit later on, but I think he's probably did really, really well. So Greg, thanks for joining me. You're joining me from Orlando. Is that correct?
Yeah, just outside of Orlando, a little town called Longwood, Florida.
Yeah, nice. Very, very nice. Well, we are a Disney family. I think I'm blocking the shot for one of my long shot. You'll see my little tiny Disney stuff over there, including it's that time of year for The Nightmare Before Christmas. So Jack is over my shoulder. But anyway, yeah, we love Orlando, and it's a great spot. And you had a great business going on. You were in the video production business. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're in the video production business for mostly business owners who want to use video to grow their business. So they're not trying to be influencers or get millions and millions of viral impressions. They are real estate agents, financial advisors, chiropractors, coaches, consultants who want to have a great message, have a great product, have a great service, and they want to use video as a way to reach more people and ultimately get people to buy their products and services. And so we did everything. We had a beautiful studio, an Emmy award-winning studio here it was in Winter Park, just outside of Orlando. And for the last decade, we've been bringing clients from all over the world into our studio. And then we also go out. We do everything from documentaries to reality TV shows to infomercials to social stuff. Again, mostly in the context of trying to get people to say, hey, you know what? This Al guy, he's pretty awesome. Maybe I should check out more of what he's up to, or go into his funnel, or book a call with him, whatever your sales process is. But it's all in that vein of using video to grow the business.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So you have this business going well. Yeah. A little event happened sometime in March, and it's called a pandemic and COVID-19. Life was upside down. I had a daughter who's a senior in high school in Italy at the time. If you remember how it rolled out there.
Yeah.
All of us are scrambling, but business wise, you really had a challenge ahead of you. What happened with your studio? How did COVID affect that?
Yeah, I mean, virtually overnight, no one wanted to jump on airplanes and fly to Orlando to film videos. And so virtually overnight, it's about a 2 to 3 week period. We had lost about 90% of our revenue, 90% of our clients, not from ill will, not because they hated us, just like, Greg, love you, but I'm not jumping on an airplane and, spending, X amount of dollars to film some videos right now. And so virtually overnight, we lost the entire business, and it was a real awakening for a lot of us because, it was like, well, what in the world are we going to do? And I'm a big believer in that we were put on this planet to create things, to produce things. Like that's one of humans' greatest opportunities and possibilities is we can wake up, we can think of something. And because of cool things like the internet, because of look, we're StreamYard right now, like amazing technology.
Incredible.
Well, you and I can have a conversation and say, you know what, let's just do a course on that, or let's do a workshop on that on Friday, and we can invite people to it and they'll give us money to do a workshop. And so, we lost the video studio, but being the entrepreneur that I am, the creator that I am, I said, well, you know what? I have 3 young kids, 8, 6, and 2, and they like to eat. My wife. And so, within a week time frame, I had put together a brand new kind of a plan. We had launched a new program, a coaching program, helping people to not just use video, but just media in general to grow their business during the pandemic. Really what we did, and save the business, within 2-3 weeks of losing everything to then another 2-3 weeks having the business back on track. And now, as we're recording this end of November, we're doing greater revenue now than we were pre-pandemic, which is amazing. And just the testament of, look, if you want to do something, there's no one stopping you. I think that's the biggest opportunity for a lot of us. Like, Al, there's no one stopping you from doing a talk show or doing but it's up to you. You have to wake up, you have to show up, and you have to do the work. And if you're willing to do that, there's so much opportunity out there.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Because those around you might say, why are you working so damn hard? Why are you doing this? And you have to overcome those questions. I know I've read it in a book someplace about entrepreneurship, but I think it's I'll think of it in a second, but it's the whole idea of the fact that when you try to do something, it's the dragon, you're the knight, you have to slay the dragon. It's that resistance. There's the word I'm looking for, and the author's name going to come to me. But people around you are kind of the first one to resist, right? They're saying to you, Greg, why don't you just go to Home Depot and get a job? Because right now your studio is not open, right? Have you come across that at all?
Luckily, this is one of the biggest things I think for entrepreneurs or people who have those entrepreneurial ideals and ideas around them is you got to surround yourself with an environment that encourages a lot of that. Now, that's not going to be everyone. That's not going to be every one of your friends, but find the places where you do get that encouragement, because we are crazy, right? Like, hey, I'm going to start this internet talk show. Hey, I'm going to launch this program. Hey, I want to write a book. Like, whatever your dreams are, they sound crazy to the average person because they want to just go about their life just like everybody else, right? Wake up, have coffee, go to work, come home, have dinner, go to watch some Netflix, go to bed, do it again. And we're not wired that way. So setting your environment up to where you have people that are encouraging you, people who are sharing wins, people who are sharing their journeys is incredible. And again, you don't have to look far. There's this amazing thing called, a phone that has YouTube on it, that's got podcasts on it, that's got Facebook and LinkedIn where you can join communities of other people like you. And, I surrounded when this whole thing is like going up in flames around me, I just started calling people, calling friends, calling, people that I was in mastermind groups with, or I'd met at events, or I'm just like, hey, I'm going through this. I need help. And you wouldn't believe how many people genuinely do want to help you in those right environments. Like people, when you're around the wrong people, they want to see you fail. They want to see you fall on your face. They want to see, the blood spilled on the sidewalk. But when you put yourself in those right environments, like it's not a zero-sum game. Just because I have a big podcast doesn't mean that you can't have a big podcast. Just because I had a good product that we launched doesn't mean that you can't. We can both do it together. And, in this entrepreneur land, the bigger I get, well, the better opportunity I have to bring other people into my world and introduce them to my audience. And it's very, we can grow together. And so if you're not in an environment, like if you said, if your wife isn't supporting you, if your spouse isn't supporting you, if your family isn't supporting you, if your close circle of friends who, are over for Thanksgiving aren't supporting you, find people who will, right? That will be those cheerleaders, that'll be those champions and go on that journey with you.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack with what you just said. I mean, just a ton. You are the company you keep, right? So right out of the gate, if you are surrounded by people that drag you down, get new people. So key and so important. You also mentioned a mastermind group. and I never make an assumption that people have an idea what that means. Can you just explain that for one quick second?
Yeah. So for those who want to go into the history of it, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, that's kind of one of the genesises of where this idea came from. And it's just that multiple minds going in the same direction are better than one mind. So if I can get in a room with 20 people who are all successful in some realm, and I come to that group with a challenge, well, now I have 19 other people who can give me ideas, insights, advice based on their own life experiences, based on their own history, based on their own businesses, based on the books that they've read, based on the group. And so now you have 19 smart people. And again, I'm just using 20 as a fictitious number, but I have 19 other people who are telling me, Greg, you should hire this person. And if 19 smart people tell you to do something, you probably should do it. Or you can see 19 other ways, because a lot of times, like I'm in my bedroom office right now after the studio shut down. I know you're in your home office right now. Right. It's easy for us to get tunnel vision. Like I'm alone by myself in my bedroom and I can't find a way out of this problem. I don't see a way forward. But getting yourself around these people, again, going back to environment, when the going was tough, the mastermind group I was a part of, I was calling them all up. And I'm like, hey, I can't see a way out of this. And they got to remind me of, hey, you have this opportunity. Hey, you have this connection. Hey, you have this. Hey, did you think of calling this person? I can make an introduction for you. And it exponentially can grow you by leaning on more minds than just your own.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I find myself coming back to a quote. I get it from a guy named John Maxwell, who's a leadership author. But, your network is your net worth, and when COVID hits, you got to take stock of that network. And if you haven't been building that network, that's a bit of an issue, but you had the network to do it and you made it happen. So let's get into the book here for a second. Totally. And I know you have a new product I just discovered this morning, actually, as I was finishing up my research. We'll get to that at the very end, but this book, what inspired, let me get that framed right. What inspired this book and what kind of reaction did you get?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that want to do what you're doing right now. Jump on and do a live video thing, do a podcast thing. They see other people doing videos. They really want to do video, but they just stop themselves dead in their tracks because at the very basic level, they kind of question themselves like, who am I? What do I have to say? What do I have to add to the conversation? What in the world do I even talk about? And before you even talk about cameras and editing and lighting and distribution and all these other things that we can jump into, they just have I pointed this phone at myself and I didn't say anything. I don't know what to say. How do I say it? I've never done this before. And so we wanted to make something that was easy. There's so many people out there. And look, I don't take anything away, but if you go read like a 900-page book on like storytelling, that's a lot of information to take in. And so what we wanted to do in the planner that you guys see now on the screen was, how can we break down a video to its basic elements that will get anybody in the game? I think that's the big thing. I want to get people in the game, right? Like you can't get a base hit if you never step up to the plate. You can't hit a home run if you never step up to the plate. Big baseball guy, a lot of baseball analogies. And so we created this video planner with just 52 prompts. None of them are rocket science. None of them are necessarily like head scratchers. You're not going to like all of them, right? You might think some of them are stupid. Totally cool. But pick 3, 4, 5, 10 of them. You're like, you know what? I could talk about that. I could talk about, the biggest lesson my first mentor shared with me out of school. I can share my mission. I can share a book recommendation, like whatever it is. And then we created this outline that is really simple. It really boils down to what's the big idea of the video. I believe that every video should have focus, and it should focus in terms of the audience, because if you're doing video for yourself, that's where ego is going to come into play. That's where all the self-consciousness comes into play. That's where the fear comes in. But as soon as you turn that and flip it onto, well, in this video, I'm going to help my audience do X, Y, or Z. I'm going to help my audience, maybe just for in your eyes, like for what you do. I'm going to help them be inspired. I'm going to introduce them to somebody cool. I'm going to motivate them. I'm going to share with them this growth mindset versus the scared mindset that you shared at the beginning of this. But think about it. What am I going to share with an audience that's going to make their day better? And then I'm just going to back it up with 3 points, not 10. I'm not writing a BuzzFeed article, the 97 best smoothies, because, if you read an article this morning that was like the 97 best smoothies, how many of those do you remember 30 seconds later after you click out of the article?
Right.
Probably none. But if the article was about the one avocado banana smoothie that you have to have that'll change your life, there's a decent chance that you're like, you know what? I should try that one smoothie. So every video, one key point. one big idea with 3 supporting points. And then every video, again, talking to my audience, there's some kind of a call to action. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to share it with everybody in your network so that we can get this in front of more people. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more about how I can help you to retire with enough money to live your amazing lifestyle, go to this link and get my free report, or, you know, whatever it is. But it's so hard to get people's attention on the internet that if you actually get someone to watch your minute, 2-minute, 3-minute clip, don't just like let them then watch whatever Facebook auto suggests or YouTube auto suggests. Get them into your world so you can continue talking to them. So that's the genesis of it. And it was a PDF that we had on our website for 2-3 years. And
Is
then
that right? So the product was there this whole time?
It was there the whole time. And we had this, it was just a 1-page PDF, and this isn't it, but I got a planner in the mail from a guy named Brendan Burchard, his high performance.
Oh, sure. I know Brendan. Yeah, I've got one.
So I got his planner in the mail and I go, man, that's freaking genius. It's the same page printed like 60 times. And so again, we're very fast action people. Velocity is one of my favorite words. And so I got the planner, let's call it on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I called up my designer and I was like, hey, let's do this. And on Monday we were at the printer printing them. And so that fast, came up with the 52 ideas. We already had the 1 page, and now I think we're at just over 7,000 copies of the video planner.
That's outstanding. Let me take the full screen for a second. You can keep talking about it, but you know, when you buy this from Greg, he sends you the PDF immediately. But then in the mail, you get this, and I don't know if you're still mailing it or not, but I thought it was a great offer. You get the actual the planner of it, and really the right side, the left side, I'm backwards. Left side of the book asks you the big question, and the right side of the book helps you plan it out. And it's just, I think these pages are really well thought out. The ones on this side of the book, you did a great job putting that together. And tell me how you came up with that aspect of the book.
Yeah. So the concepts came from, so we have a program where we help people come up with ideas for their videos called the Virtual Video Producer. And in that program, you know, every month I have to come up with 5, 10, 15 ideas for my clients. And so I have this bank in Google Docs of just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ideas. And we just started looking at some of the most popular ones. And then we went to YouTube and started looking at some of the, guys like Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone and Marie Forleo and Brian Tracy and Brendan Burchard, and what were some of the consistent themes between some of their most popular videos, and came up with a list. I don't remember what it was, 80, 100 of them, and then just pared it down to the top 52. And here's the cool thing, just like you said, you don't have to love every one of them. The outline works even if you bring your own idea to the table. But I think some people don't even know where to start, and that's what I really wanted to do for people, because if you get in the game, you put out your first video and you get a couple views, you get a couple people that liked it. Ow, that video was so great, it really helped me. That creates momentum. And as an entrepreneur, momentum is everything, because if you have momentum, you're going to show up the next day and do it again. And you're going to do it again. And you're going to do it again. And with video, as you're starting to see, as you've done your show now, you get better. Right. And the only way to get better at being on camera, the only way to be a better interviewer, the only way to be better on your feet is to actually do it. It's, you're not going to get better at interviewing people by reading a book about interviewing people. Sure.
No, you're not.
Still do that. Totally cool. But the only way you're going to get better at being on camera is having this phone pointed at your face or a camera pointed at your face and talking to it. You
nailed right where I wanted to go next with this. So you're talking about video, you're talking about, people just, how do I get this done? So the planner helps them do that. Then you just nailed equipment. Okay. Now, not everybody needs to have a DSLR camera with a light, and a microphone, and what I have in front of me. My daughter was here this weekend. As I said, we planned really hard to pod the holiday weekend. I'm putting that underscore on that for everybody. We quarantined, we tested, we did all that. We took temperatures every day like crazies. She brought her brand new iPhone 12 with a stabilizer and created the most incredible video about a hike that we took, and it just blew me away, and so take away the stabilizer for a second. She could have just done it with the iPhone 12, and I didn't mean to name drop, but I did. But Jeff Dunham and I've talked about, he does about more than 50% of his interviews with his iPhone 12. What's my point? My point is the equipment's in the palm of your hand. All you need. Some of my favorite videos that I see on LinkedIn. One of my favorite guys goes out for his morning walk. And literally, I'll hold my hand so you can see it, literally just records himself on the morning walk talking about sales, looking into the camera. Blows me away. So talk a bit about this whole hang up with equipment.
Yeah, so video is about connection, human connection. It's not about the technology. Now, a couple things with that. A is I'm a believer that good quality content is always going to rise to the top. So I'm a Netflix guy, love Netflix, been using it forever since DVD days. The reason why I think Netflix is winning isn't because it's $8 a month. It's because they have better content than the major networks.
Yes.
They've been able to go niche. They've been able to create movies. They've been able to bring over the best talent, the best directors. Like they have the best shows, which is why they have the most subscribers. I think Disney Plus is going to catch up and they're going to exceed those numbers because, again, the best content wins. The Star Wars is the Marvels. Like that is really, really good, high quality stuff. But we're not Netflix. We're not Marvel. What we want to do, again, for most of us, this isn't saying I want to go viral and get 100 million views today. For most of us, if you're a real estate agent and you get 1,000 views in Orlando, Florida, of people looking for houses,
right?
That's more people than you can ever work with. Like most real estate agents are never going to work with 1,000 people in their whole career. Sure. So, so when we keep that in, it's the connection. What does my audience want that I am uniquely suited to talk about? And how can I get that out to them? So we start putting, all right, so this is an equation that I use that I think is really important for this. The reason why we fall back to equipment is because it's easier to blame the equipment than our own mission, our own vision for what it is that we want to do. It's easier to say, oh, I'm waiting to get the right microphone. I'm waiting to get as opposed to stepping out and actually doing it. So it's a stall tactic, I think, more than anything. So the equation that I do is called the ambition equation. And if your ego is greater than your ambition, and swipe out the word ambition for mission, for vision, it's all kind of the same thing. But if your ego is greater than your ambition, you're never going to move forward. Because you're scared of what someone might say. You're scared that, like, look, I'm like an Emmy award-winning video guy, and I'm in my freaking bedroom using a webcam. This is not high quality video, but hopefully I'm cutting through because I care more about helping people than I do about having, perfectly done makeup and, the lights being like. Now, would I like that stuff? Sure. And
that's the point.
Sure,
right.
100%. But but where we're at right now, all the video stuff's in storage and getting through the holidays right now.
Absolutely.
So most people's ego is above their mission and they're too scared to put something out there because they're afraid of what other people will say. The second piece of the equation is similarly scary. It's where their ego is equal to their ambition and they're on the same wavelength. What happens here is they're okay putting out a video. They're okay doing a podcast. They're okay putting out something on social media, wherever, but it's plain Jane. It's vanilla. They don't say anything because they're still scared that someone might, oh, well, you were talking about the left or you were talking about the right or you like what, and whatever it is that they do, they still don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Right. And the problem with that on the internet is the most people, when they see average vanilla content, they just scroll right past it.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have to stand for something and say something meaningful in order to get people's attention. So the third piece of it is where your ambition is now greater than your ego. And you don't care how you look, how you sound, that one hair is out of place, that my hat's, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. My hat's like crooked sideways. I don't care about any of that because I have a mission to help business owners to get over some of these fears, to get over the perfectionism and go out and to become a prolific creator. Because if you're not producing something, then no one can discover you. No one can find you. No one can see your unique abilities and how you can help them. And so you need to get to that place. So whatever your ambition, your mission, your vision is for your business, make that greater than your ego.
Yeah.
Because again, like if you're worried about what some troll, like I know you said earlier, you saw my video planner on an ad. If you read some of the comments that I get on that ad for a video planner, it's $10, guys. Like this isn't like a $7,000 thing. It's a $10 video planner. I have had more negative comments and people calling me a Yahoo with much, much worse language than that. I've had people buy it, rip it up, and light it on fire, sending it back to me, calling it a POS, right? Like, so but if I'm worried about that one person versus the 7,000 who are like, Al, who're like, hey, I got this thing. It's pretty cool. Like you're just in a, like, I would much rather focus on the people who are using it for good than the 2 or 3 that are going to be trolls. And again, because my mission, my ambition is greater than my ego. Does that make sense?
That's a great point, and it's funny. I'm gonna go back to what I started with here at the beginning, and just tell folks that if you're doing this on the orange side of this slide, you reminded me. It comes with trolls, man. It comes with trolls. Am I right or am I wrong, Greg?
Yeah, you're so right. And if you really look at the people who leave those comments, it's never someone with like their real picture. It's like a picture of a cat or like a superhero or like a character, like, because it's easy to hide behind this keyboard. The thing that I love about video and doing video, like how we're doing it, how I teach at Ambitious, is you get me. Like, this is me, right? Like, you're getting the best of me today. And this is what you get. And I think that's why it creates such a connection with the audience, because they feel as if, oh, I kind of know this person. He let me into his home. He let me into his office. The sales guy, you said, you're getting into his morning walk. And we all are craving, especially in COVID land right now, that human connection. Yeah. And if I feel like I have a connection to somebody, even if it's on video, that is so powerful. Right. And the trolls, there is no human connection. There's just a mean person behind a keyboard with a cat, emoji for their picture. That's not a real, just shrug it off, because the person who commented and was like, that made my day. I really appreciate you sharing this. That was super cool. Even something like that, you're just like, I made a dent. One more thing on this, and I'll let you take it, because I want to talk about views really quick, because I think people get really demotivated if they only get 50 views in one of their videos, or 200 views of one of their videos, or 20,000, maybe small for you, like depending on your audience. Remember that every single one of those views is a human being, right? And I know I do a lot of speaking, obviously haven't in the last year. I don't know if you've ever done like public speaking, but
lots of it. Yeah.
So if you got a room full of 500 people, you'd be super jacked up, right? Like, you'd be jazzed, like, and you would fly halfway around the country to speak to a room of 250, 300 people.
Absolutely.
And now you're going to whine and complain about putting a video up that only got seen by 250 people. You used to fly halfway around the country to speak to 250 people.
What a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
Every single person's a human being. And, I tell this story. I put up a video 3-4 years ago on YouTube. The video's got like 64 views, like, again, like super viral, right? Like 64 views on YouTube. I'm killing it, right? There's a lot of people that watch your videos. I call them the silent majority. It's that most people who watch your videos never comment, right? Like, most people who are watching this live right now, they're not commenting. They're not like, but they're still enjoying the content. Well, I had one person who was a casting director for Disney. Out of the 64 views, call me the next day, fly me to California to audition for a reality show. Wow. 64 people watched the video. Again, every view is a human being. So don't ever take it for granted that someone took 5 minutes out of their day, 20 minutes out of their day to spend time with you. That's a freaking blessing that we have the opportunity to serve these people every day.
Well, one of our viewers is I don't know if you saw me put it up there before. I don't know if it must be a Greg Society, but amen. Greg. And another comment Greg made was, rising tide lifts all boats. 100%. I mean, so true. And thanks, Greg, for that comment. It absolutely is the case. Well, we're winding down on time here, and you've got so many things. Talk about your latest project, which I was just like blown away, saying, where does this guy stop? I'm going to try to, while you're giving the introduction to it, grab the site for that and get it up here. But give everybody an idea what it is you're doing next.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've done personally over the last 9-10 years is, I'm a big, I work out a lot. I do a lot of CrossFit stuff. I obviously read a lot of like mindset, personal development, all of these things. And when it comes to like being on video and remembering what to say and the words to come out and all that, I really started getting into like brain science and neuroscience and neuropsychology and all of these things of, what can make us perform at our peak. Because everybody now is on a computer 24/7. They're Zooming, they're StreamYarding, they're Ecamming, they're whatever they're doing, they're Facebook Living, they're emailing, we're on our computers all day. How can we be sharp every moment that we come to the computer? And I've always wanted to have a supplement line, from back in like the 90s. I had like those big EAS, Bill Phillips, like supplement guidebooks, and it was really cool back then. And just the opportunity never presented itself. I said earlier, we lost a lot of our business, the majority of our business when COVID hit, and it allowed me to have kind of a reset in what it is that I want to do and who that I want to be. And I knew that if I created a supplement line looking for the white space, I didn't want to go in the fitness space and just have protein powders and pre-workouts and, amino acids, like all of that stuff, because it's so competitive. And I'm not like a bodybuilder. I'm an entrepreneur who works out so that I get the benefit all day of having that energy, being focused, having that clarity. And so we started looking at, well, what do entrepreneurs need if they're more distracted than ever. They need to focus, and they need to perform at their peak. And so we started looking at Nootropics, which is a brand of supplements that is, cognitive enhancement, mental focus, sharpness. And we built out and formulated our own based on stuff that, I'd been experimenting with for the past 10 years.
Yep.
Put it into a powder. Our first flavor is called Berry Ambitious. And it's a berry flavored. It's a drink that you take, not loaded up with no sugars, no artificial flavors, very healthy, all natural ingredients, only 100 milligrams of caffeine. So you can have it after your morning coffee, because I'm a big coffee guy. Incredible. And we're really, really excited for it. And it's like weird. Like, you've been talking about video for 30 minutes and now you're selling supplements. Super weird. But to me, it all plays together, because in order to produce epic work, legendary work, great content, you have to be mentally sharp. You know it as a journalist. Like, when you get into the zone, when you get in that flow state and that article comes out, how can you get there more often? How can you, like when you go into the gym, you take a pre-workout to wake your body up. Well, before you sit into the keyboard on the computer, how do you wake your brain up?
Sure.
And that's kind of what we put together with the first product. It's called Edge. And that's what it is. Like, it's not going to make you Bradley Cooper from Limitless. I say that in the sales video, but it is going to help wake up your brain. And it's going to give you a little bit of natural energy from some green tea and some ginkgo biloba and some good stuff. And then some of our core ingredients, like lion's mane mushroom, big believer in lion's mane, alpha GPC, bacopa mineri, like just really cool natural stuff that, like I said, it wakes up your brain. Is it going to magically make you, a $1 billion stock trader this afternoon? No. But if you have that ambition that's greater than your ego, when you take it, you step in front of the keyboard, it's just going to give you that slight edge to wake your brain up. And so, so it's been super fun. We're just about at launch. As with any great product and physical products, a ton of delays in getting shipments and all kinds of stuff. But we're really, really excited for this. And again, I think it does play really well into the video side. It plays well into, everything that we do here in Ambitious. So it's kind of fun.
What is the URL for that? I have it up here, and I mean, I can read it myself, but is it ambitious.com for the
ambitious.com? Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's up there on the screen. Well, Greg, your energy is incredible and almost exhausting. Which
everybody's tired now. They need some edge to wake up after the interview. Yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned coffee too, as my wife will tell you, if my day doesn't start with 2 good-sized cups of Starbucks coffee that I make at home here, obviously right now, it's the truth. So that's pretty awesome. Well, Greg, tell me as we kind of roll things down, what would you like people to do today to reach out to you, and where would you like them to go to do that?
Yeah. So the first thing, just as a recap of everything that I've said, is stop waiting for permission. Whatever it is that you want to do, don't wait for somebody to come and knight you and anoint you. No one anointed me as the video guy. No one said, hey, Greg, you should start a supplement company now. No, like, just go out and take whatever it is that you want. I think that is the number one theme of what we talked about today that I want everyone to leave with. And then the best places to find me, ambitious.com is where you can learn a lot about the supplement. If you want to check out the planner that we've been sharing throughout the video, it's theambitiousplanner.com. You can grab yourself one of those. And then I'm just Greg Roulette on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials. I know you got a LinkedIn following, so it's just Greg Roulette on LinkedIn as well. And would love to connect. I think the number one thing for all of us is screenshot this. Like, screenshot that you're watching this right now, share it with others, get more people watching the show so that he can bring on more guests and continue to make an impact. I appreciate you having me here, and it's been awesome.
Well, I appreciate you being here, and I want to underscore what you said before too, about a network, about connecting, about LinkedIn. One of the reasons I am here, and I've mentioned this many, many times already, I'm part of a LinkedIn group that meets every Friday on Zoom. We are, we haven't called ourselves a mastermind yet, but it's the reason I decided to go strong. And I'm glad you hit views, because I got to tell you, when you do this and you work as hard as I've been working at this, I've been told to keep on pushing. And there's a ceiling you break through, but all of a sudden it starts to happen. So I appreciate that motivation. What I appreciate most, Greg, is your energy. I mean, it is just incredible, and it's inspiring. And for anybody that found themselves on the short end of the stick of just, what happened during COVID and how you recover, it's just, one of these things. So in fact, Greg is back here. The idea of surrounding yourself with positive people, I have to tell you, I do know Greg. He's one of my connections. We work together on something, but hopefully we answered this, how you buy it. And And certainly, you know, Greg's going to reach out to you, and that's what's important, building all this. So I
Love it.
appreciate you being here today. Hang around for a second. I would love to chat with you before we wrap up here, and I'll let you go. But before I do that, I want to say goodbye to our viewers, and I'm going to put you back there in the waiting room. Take care, Greg. Thank you. Well, what an incredible guy. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with some of the things that he told us, but I will tell you, go to ambitious.com, reach out to Greg. The guy just seems to have a limitless supply of energy. And now I think we know why. His next project is an energy supplement, which is incredible. But, you know, if I had to get a sponsor too, I'd say coffee. You know, this show brought to you by coffee. With that, thank you all very much. We have a really big week coming up this week. I've got some great guests for you. We've got everything from entertainers that are just starting out in Great Britain to a sales expert also from Great Britain. I think it's a Great Britain kind of week. But tomorrow, an incredible. We're back to Florida tomorrow. A friend of mine that had a brain surgery done to him that changed his life, reduced tremors, and the surgeon. So that's going to be tomorrow. Watch for my live notifications. Going to be a great show. With that, thank you all very much for being here today, and we'll talk to you really soon. Take care.